I'm a lifelong resident of Missouri. My own hometown, I've often said, is a pretty even mix of both urban and rural settings. For example, I live in a city-style neighborhood, but the edge of it butts up against an open field that's surrounded by barbed wire. I do think Missouri's got an absolutely beautiful landscape. I've often said that I think we've got the prettiest skies going, but there are sections that do have a darker, almost ominous feel. My hometown is dotted with small pockets of wooded areas near schools or behind businesses. I actually shot the footage for my trailer in a tiny little pocket of woods in the midst of a bank, a golf course, and an apartment building. The footage makes the wooded area look enormous, really though it was fairly small. But those areas don't have to be very big for a person to get completely turned around in them. I actually got lost during the filming of the trailer, and it took me a while to wind my way out of the wooded area. So those little pockets, while they can look sort of innocuous from a distance, they can actually have a frightening feel when you're inside them. I use those tiny pockets of woods and the frightening feeling that can accompany them to help me depict the town of Peculiar, Missouri. We do have a town called Peculiar in Missouri, but Peculiar as it exists in the book is a complete fictionalization. The disturbing feeling I get from small pockets of woods in my own hometown is part of the fictionalization. My hometown also went through a pretty brutal ice storm in 2007. When it hit, a lot of us called it a once-in-a-20-year storm because the last time we'd gone through any similar was during what many referred to as Black Christmas of 1987. And that was the year that an ice storm knocked out power on the holiday. But then we got hit with an almost identical storm in 2008. It was a real 1-2 punch. In fact, many of the trees in my own yard still have a kind of bitten into look from all the broken limbs, even now, years later. And an ice storm, I know from my own experience, has a really eerie feel too. I use my own memory of the sounds and struggles with power to add a creep factor to the book as well. So while the town that's depicted in Feral is a work of my imagination, my own sensory experiences were part of that fictionalization. The things that have made the hair stand up on the back of my own neck are what helped me create a spooky or unnerving setting in Feral.